and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Saturday. And you know what that means? It's time for all the toy news, action figure news of the week that excited me, that hopefully excites you, and we got a big week of toy news here. A lot of stuff, a lot of varied stuff to dive into as well. And yeah, there's a Power Town update, a McFarlane update, playing all the hits. That's the definition of the toy news this week, as it is the first weekend in June. Of course, my wife's birthday next week. It is what it is. But my birthday at the very end of the month, I cannot wait. June 25th, mark your calendars. There's going to be cake, there's going to be pizza, there's going to be soda. Todd's going to be a party to end all parties. So be there or be square or something like that. But let's dive into it. First, we got to talk a little Patreon. It is Professor Pig. That is the giveaway this month. It is the Platinum Edition. And I do think, Todd McFarlane, when the dust settles, when you lose the license officially at the end of the year, yeah, I know, too soon. It could be a top 10 favorite for me personally from McFarlane. That might be an interesting list to do sometime in 2027 once the dust settles and all of that kind of stuff. So we'll see. But that is the giveaway over there on Patreon. Plenty of bonus stuff, plenty of early access to everything. My podcast, of course, this week's episode coming this Tuesday right now. If you're a Patreon YouTube channel member, it is Angie and I, our review of the He-Man and the Masters Universe movie. Been waiting a long time for something like this. I give all the gory details, and it's spoiler-free for the most part. It's pretty spoiler-free. We also try the new Krispy Kreme He-Man donuts in the Taste New Food segment. So it's a He-Man exclusive episode. Check it out. You don't want to miss that one. And then good girl old Angie, of course, the birthday girl, Todd McFarlane, straight from the pool from the Q&A. You guys, she broke the internet in a lot of ways last year, around 4th of July, I think it was. But Angie getting some time off, a little pool time in, and she came straight from the pool to do the Q&A video. So we've been talking about that for a while. That'll be coming soon. That'll be on Patreon, maybe this weekend, maybe the next 3 or 4 weeks on the traditional YouTube. But Angie is there. And I said it in the video, Todd McFarlane. People are going to say, oh, you forced her. I don't force her to do anything. She's her own lady. So she does her own thing into some surprising results from time to time. But that is the Patreon. Got to thank our friends over there at Jay's Toys and Games for sponsoring the toy news this week. Check out tomorrow. A lot of stuff from Jay's in the weekly purchases, including a Grail pickup for me. One of those long game items where I said, when the time is right, I will pull the trigger. Well, the time was right this week at Jay's. They had quite the pickup, quite a buy-in. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time to take a little advantage of that. But make sure you go over to Jay's, use code Kyle, save yourself 15%. They do have a segment of their website called the Carded Classics, where you can get old school Hasbros, you can get LJNs, you can get all points in between, and you can save yourself 15%. So head over there, tell them Kyle sent you, all that kind of fun stuff. But now it's time to get into the toy news here. No WWE news this week. I'm filming this, of course, Friday afternoon as usual. I am wondering, I guess it hasn't happened yet, Todd McFarlane. Todd on the couch, busy early today, Todd. Going to you, deferring to you a lot. No Mattel Creations little gallery for the month of June yet. I'm not sure exactly if that's coming, when that's coming. We'll wait and see, but we do know San Diego Comic-Con around the corner. 6 weeks away, let's say, something like that. And we have yet to hear what the exclusive is going to be. Really, any of the Mattel exclusives for San Diego Comic-Con. Have to imagine the next couple of weeks we'll hear something on those. Hasbro going all in. We've got the Marvel ones. We got the G.I. Joe ones. We already know what's coming. Mattel is on the clock as of right now. We'll wait and see. And obviously, nothing from AEW as of right now. I haven't heard any new news or anything. I'm surprised that Mark Sterling hasn't went up for pre-order over at Collect Major. No news on that as of right now. We'll see what ends up happening. Is that Darby Allin going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive? I wonder if that's going to be the case. I guess we'll see. I did hear a few things off the record this week, Todd McFarlane, about AEW, and I am not at liberties to spill it, but there has been some movement with another company. I don't know if people are going to enjoy it, if it does come to fruition. So I'm leaving it at that for now. I'm sure there'll be more sooner rather than later. I'm not exactly sure. But AEW not dead yet. We got those big rubber guys coming this month sometime too as well for AEW. So we're not totally out of the AEW figure game. But it'll be interesting to see their direction in the future. And if the path stays true, I don't know. That's what I'm going to say. But moving on to a few other things, I did beckon the name of Big Rubber Guys. Kind of a surprise drop this week. We knew that was going to be the plan. Raven and Tommy Dreamer ECW in stock. Tommy Dreamer shipping right now. I should have it any minute for my mailman. If we hear my dogs go crazy, you know I just got that Tommy Dreamer figure. Raven shipping in July. I did a separate order so I get both of them. Free shipping either way. So I did pick those up as well. Should mention Big Rubber Guys available over at Jay's Toys and Games, 15% off over there. I probably should have waited, Todd. I should have waited to pick them over there, save 15%. But what you going to do? What you going to do at this point? We did see this week, and it came from the Major Pod. We'll just keep evoking their names, I guess. The Major Pod did have a figure hunt with Danhausen, old Matt Cardona and Danhausen, out on the mean streets hunting the toys. They did talk about FC Toys, of course, figure collections. Use code Kyle, save yourself 10% at figure collections. Got to get the deal. You guys know how it goes. Danhausen and Matt Cardona coming to the Bone Crushers line. Of course, their style of Bone Crunchers. Both of those should sell very well. Both those WWE stars now getting to the near in the end to their indie run as far as action figures go. But we got those coming very soon. We saw Top Rope Collectibles this week. Joey Janela, they've been promoting this one for a while. Joey Janela playing a modern day Jake the Snake Roberts is what he seems to be doing right there. But it looks good for what it is. We'll see where that goes. I do feel like they have at least something different going on. Of course, our friends at Powertown said they're going to have a Galoob style figures. Yeah, I know, Todd. We'll get to them in a little bit. I don't think that's ever going to happen, in all honesty. I'm not sure we'll ever get our figures we already pre-ordered, in all honesty, as we know. But they have the Galoob style on lock right now, and nobody else is doing it, so it does make them rise to the top, stand out a little bit more compared to some of the other companies there. So Top Rope Collectibles going all in with Joey Janela. A couple of variants as usual. Our friend Sean over there at KWK, always turning and burning. I gotta say, they're like clockwork. You know, grapplers and gimmicks, nothing against Hasbro Toys. They'll dump a ton of figures all at once. Zombie will dump waves here. We're going to talk about it again here. But KWK like clockwork. Steady is the ship with them. And I appreciate that. You know what you're getting yourself into. It's a steady release schedule. You know how it goes and operates by this time. It's not kamikaze style. Kudos to the KWK team there. But June 15th coming up very, very soon. Is that Father's Day weekend? Is that coming up soon, Todd? Mark that on my to-do list as well. June 15th, the last day for Bad News Allen, Bad News Brown, depending which way you swing. And Todd, we know you swing both ways. Me too. Todd, why not? But I like Bad News Allen, I like Bad News Brown, but I'll take both. I'm hardcore, I'll take them both. But those looking very, very good. Can't wait to see those in hand. June 15th, last time to order. But June 6th, is that today? What is time? What is the day? Pre-order is up for the Fantastics. 3 different versions of the Fantastics. Truly fantastic, of course. And then we also got Kevin Kelly, the limited edition one. So we got the next round of KWK figures. Shout out to KWK. I did get Dory Funk Jr. and Laredo Kid through the door this week. We'll talk about those on the channel here probably next week. Finding time, Todd. It's tough to get all this stuff in, but we're going to get into those this weekend here. We'll get them up on Patreon as we usually do, and then traditional YouTube. So be on the lookout for some of that discussion. How about a little bit of my fandom collectibles? Now, I got these right here. Very interesting. I don't know what to think of this yet. Obviously, they haven't had any figures in hand yet, but there's Spotlight figures coming very soon. They expect to begin shipping these next month. And one thing I do think is admirable, they said they're not going to take any money until Series 1 is in everybody's hands. I think that is a nice gesture, but it's also the way things need to be done in this day and age because people aren't willing to fund a Series 2 without a Series 1 to see the quality and everything in hand. So we do know those are going to be around the corner. Series 2, they have indie stars. They have Lash LaRue's of the world. They have a lot of talent that haven't had figures yet. I do think there's something cool by that. I'm not sure I can be a completionist here. I'm not sure exactly what my mind is doing with my fandom, but it's a very interesting strategy they have going on. They did show off Dan Maff, him and his figure this week. And then the one that got me a little bit more excited was Indy Hartwell showing off her figure. And I got to say, these look pretty good for prototypes in hands. It's going to be very interesting to see the reception for these and where their future does hold. They could have a very bright future. You never know. You never know with this company. But there is a very saturated market as far as retros. It's not an easy game to break into. A lot of the talent that people want have already been done. So you see a lot of rehashing going on. Be very interested to see how my fandom does in the future. And we'll pay attention to that, of course, in the future on the toy news. I mentioned Zombie Sailor Toys Heels and Faces earlier. The Extreme lineup, June 10th. That is my wife's birthday, Todd. Mark that down again. I got to get her like something from McDonald's or something maybe for dinner. I don't know. Something like that. We'll see what she's up to. More on that in the podcast this week, of course. But It is Zombie Sailor Toys Heels and Faces, the Extreme Set ECW. Now, I already got Roadkill in the collection. We already unboxed him on the channel. But the rest of them, got to pick them up for my ECW Love and Heart. I don't know if you guys are aware or not. I did write a book on the ECW Original San Francisco Toy Makers, Todd McFarlane. I still owe you a signed copy. I know, I'll get it to you. I got one over here. I'll give it to you. I'll hand it off. But if you want a signed copy, reach out to me or head to Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Pick up the ECW Original San Francisco Toy Makers book by yours truly over there. But it'll be interesting to see how Zombie does. Of course, our friends Jay's Toys and Games. A lot of plugs in this episode. You know me, I'm plugging holes left and right. Plugged some this morning as well. They are available over at Jay's Toys and Games. Save 15% with code Kyle. Got to get a deal once again. But that's it for wrestling. A little bit of stuff, a little bit of not a lot of stuff. Nothing WWE really cuts down the wrestling news, as we do know. But there is still one friend left. It's time for the Power Town Update.
Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering?
All right, it's time for the Power Town Update. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot to update this week. I can't believe there's so much updates each and every single week. But Steve Rosenthal, good friend of the channel, great friend of the channel, good friend of Brian Myers as well. I haven't heard through the grapevine. Brian has not posted on social media or talked about it on the podcast. But Steve has not returned from China, apparently. But in a plot twist, in a scoop, they call me Scoop Peterson, of course, my journalist background. Not only a one class away from a minor in film, also about 20 classes away from a journalism degree or something like that. But Power Town this week, Steve Rosenthal did send me some footage. And apparently he is still in China, and he is in the factory that is producing. It's the Lucky factory. Is that right, Todd? Todd gave me the thumbs up with his big toe. It is the Lucky Group. He is in the Lucky Group factory, and he sent me a little bit of a video clip of what he's been up to over there.
I'm working for an hourly wage. I went to high school, didn't do great. Still, I gotta make more cash. More education is what I'm looking at. When I get a degree, I will make a bigger salary. So now I've got to see which college is right for me. I went on the internet and found Education Connection. I took some free tests to find out my direction. I'm taking my classes online, getting my degree on my own time. Education Connection matched me with the right college for free. Get connected for free. With Education Connection. Get connected for free. With Education Connection.
And it seems to be that Steve is lost, dare I say, in the back room. Could be lost in the back rooms, or who knows what he's up to. But Steve apparently lost in that factory, trying to find his way home. And hopefully when he does return home, he comes with all of our figures in a big sack like Santa. That's what he's going to be like. But Steve over there in China, lost in the back rooms of the Lucky factory. I hope he finds his way out for our sake, because Magnum's not here to get us our figures anymore. Who's going to get us our figures? Probably nobody. But that is the Power Town Update. But as our friend Jerry Reed always says, exactly right, Todd McFarlane. Jerry Reed, huge G.I. Joe fan back in the day. Before Jerry passed away, he told me, man, that Flint, one of the greatest leaders of all time, not just in the Joe pantheon of history, but all leader history. And I couldn't agree more to Jerry Reed. And then his eyes closed and he took his last breath. Those were his final words of one Jerry Reed. A lot of people don't know that, but glad we could talk that and bring that up. But it's time for YoJo June. It's not, like I said, just my birthday month or my wife's birthday month. Yeah, I get it. But it is YoJo June, and we got the first episode of YoJo June this Wednesday. And it sounds like every Wednesday this month, we're going to get an episode of YoJo June, where we'll have pre-orders, announcements, and all things in between. A lot of stuff talked about this week, a lot of stuff we already knew, but some fun stuff. We did get the deluxe figure of Deep Six. No dolphin with Deep Six? What are we doing? But more people are like, where's the shark vehicle? Me, I'm like, where's that dolphin? Where's that dolphin? We could have at least got the dolphin. He'll be for a future repaint, I am sure. But no shark on this one. It sounded like they went both ways, like Todd from the Couch. Once again, they went both ways on that. They decided to give the deluxe figure. I never had that original Deep Six. I had the Dolphin Deep Six. It's one of those ones I missed out on as a kid. My parents didn't love me enough. That's what happened there. They didn't want Kyle to have Deep Six and the shark. It is what it is. But the shark is a classic one, or I should say Deep Six. I guess both are very classic to the Joe history. Looking very good. Almost looks like a mechanized suit. I mean, a massive, massive big figure. Have him square off against a Fatal Fluffy, possibly, the upcoming San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I love that extra touch, though, the extra horror element where they got the, like, skull head, so you could replace that, and it could be like Deep Six was dead at the bottom of the ocean, and they found him down there. I thought that was a nice chef's kiss to this figure here. But looks good. Deluxe figure coming this year. Looks pretty darn nice. Target, it's the summer geek out event of a lifetime. We're all geeking out this summer, apparently. Shebang, tabang, shebang, shebangs, like William Hung. I'm not exactly sure. That one and Scarlet are a 2-pack, part of the Ninja Force, one of the most deadly forces of all time, the Ninja Force. We unboxed Zartan this week on the channel. Check out that Ninja Force Zartan unboxing. But we're building out our Ninja Force shelf with some deep cuts to shebang, shebang. Always a favorite of mine. I had that one. Him and Dojo were the Alpine and Bazooka of the Ninja Force for me. Loved those two. Hopefully we get Dojo in the future. I never had the Scarlet back in the day. It was my girl bias, of course. Of course it was, Todd. You know something about a girl bias, don't you? Yeah, maybe not. No comment? Okay, sure. But I did order both those at Target. They did go up for pre-order on Friday. Also at Hasbro Pulse if you're after those. Last week we talked about it. This week official. The reveal was here. Cobra Commander with hood. Hooded Cobra Commander with throne. It's the year of thrones. We got Cobra Commander in his throne. And of course we got Stone Cold Steve Austin in his throne this year from Mattel. Dueling throne game over there. But looking very good. I'm here for it. I pre-ordered it. I'm sure a lot of you guys did as well, and girls. Sounds like they sold a lot of them. They said, don't fret. We're going to have another run of these in the future. So if you want this one, you'll be able to get it. I would not be shocked like a year from now, we'll see this on clearance somewhere. I could see that happening. And we'll look at it and say, for so many years, everybody was screaming for this. And now it's actually on clearance. But it will be overproduced. They think it's going to sell a ton. And it will sell a ton. Should be a good looking one when we get that one in hand. This fall, it sounds like, for that one there. We also saw Grand Slam, and what is that, the HHS, is that what it's called? I'm never familiar with that vehicle. I never had it. I guess it's more of like a weapons base or whatever. But I know a lot of you guys and you gals, especially you gals, love Grand Slam. We're not just talking Denny's anymore. Grand Slam coming to the line. A lot of people excited for this. That one should be pretty good. I know a lot of people excited about the Mark II Vamp. A lot of people want the green one. It sounds like they are going to rerun the Vamp in the future, but we're going to get Mark II Vamp first. Very cool to see that. More vehicles here, which leads us to HasLab. Apparently no HasLab in 2026. I'm okay with that. Let the Snowcat come. Let the Arctic Hiss Tank come. I'm good with that this year. But put my business hat on, Hasbro, G.I. Joe, you probably should have said that a long time ago because I think you would have sold more Snowcats or both, either way, with the Arctic Hiss. I think they would have got more sales because I'm sure somebody said, well, I don't like the Snowcat. I'll just save my money for next year's HasLab. Or I would buy the Arctic Hiss, but I want next year's HasLab. I got to choose. I'm going to choose the HasLab. You took that away from the people at the time. So obviously, I'm sure some of those will be easy to get for probably price plus shipping. I think if you work hard enough and you look hard enough. But it is interesting. They passed on the HasLab this year. If I was them, if they didn't want to go a big HasLab, do a smaller HasLab. Nobody says it has to be $300 to $500. Do a $100 HasLab. Do something like the Devilfish or something like that. Do something easy, something that could go to retail that maybe retail wouldn't want. It's just a step bigger, something that maybe is a little deeper cut. They could have done something like that as a HasLab, and I think it would have been successful. And I think it would have been okay not to, bust all the money out there. We don't need the $500 all-in packages and stuff. So it is what it is, but no HasLab this year. But we are getting some vehicles. And man, I don't want to say I'm vehicled out because I'm going to get them. I love G.I. Joe. It's my first real, true, passionate love. I guess He-Man is, but I won't go into that whole story. But I absolutely love G.I. Joe, so I'll buy all the stuff here, but I want more figures than vehicles. I don't know if you guys are in the same boat as me. I know there's probably somebody that wants more vehicles than figures. I don't know, but I'm here for the figures first, so I'd rather have more figures than more vehicles. That's just me. And I guess that's what they're doing anyway, so what am I talking about? But we did see upcoming Avalanche Trooper, part of those deluxe packs, the reuse bodies. We know how that one goes, but that works good with the Snowcat coming around that time, so that'll be fun. And then we get Dusty and Sandstorm. Is that Dusty version 3? I think it is at this point here. Sandstorm, his pet desert wolf or whatever. I'm here for it. You know me, I'm always here for a pet with the G.I. Joe. So those looking pretty good. And then Action Man. I know of Action Man. Never collected it, never had it. Not really in our area, my area, Todd's area. It was in Canada? Okay, whatever, Todd. But Action Man, some people excited for that. A little nostalgic for some. To me, this will be a little bit of a background character because Action Man wasn't my thing growing up, but it might have been yours, so kudos to you for getting your Action Man. But that's a big G.I. Joe update. Be interested to see what we get next week for G.I. Joe. Anxious to see some more reveals, some more pre-orders, all that fun stuff. We do know we got Walmart Collectors Con coming in July. The Target Geek Out event. I don't know if there'll be more G.I. Joe with that, but I wouldn't be shocked sometime in Hasbro in the month of YoJo June to announce whatever we're going to have for Walmart. I'm sure there'll be a lot of San Diego Comic-Con talk every single week as we lead up to that event as well. Hopefully the announcement of EcoForce with Flint. Could we get one of those going? I don't know. We'll see where it all ends up going, but a lot of good stuff if you're a Joe fan right now, but possibly even more fun stuff if you're a He-Man and the Masters Universe fan. This week, I did go to the He-Man Masters Universe movie opening night Wednesday, the early showing, whatever you do call it. Todd, can you believe Mattel didn't invite me out there? The guy that just reps the brand from childhood. Yeah, childhood, repping it for so many years. Didn't even get an invite. I can't believe it. But I did go on my own, and it's fine. Unfortunately, work-life balance isn't for me, Todd, just like you, and I probably wouldn't have been able to go if I wanted to, which is crazy that I would have to turn that event down. So I'm glad I wasn't even put in that position to have to turn that down. So maybe it all worked out. Everything happens for a reason, as they do say. But what a movie for Masters. I really enjoyed it. Once again, I'm a kid of the 80s. I grew up with the property. I was there for the 87 movie. I was there for all of it all along. I really enjoyed the movie. I love the hallmarks, the Easter eggs to the past. I love the characters. There was some missing characters, obviously. I love that it was a little bit more violent than I anticipated. I love that there was some bad language in it. I felt it really played the adult fan and the new up-and-coming kid fan. I think it hit on both sides of that. I think that's where it needed to be hit. There was all the post-credit scenes. Everybody talks about that. One of them, I'm not here for. If you guys know my Masters Universe fan base stuff, I'm not here. Maybe do that in movie 3 or 4, preferably. I hope it's not movie 2. We'll see what happens with that one there. But I probably will see this again. I wouldn't mind seeing it one more time in the theater. I don't know if my kids would want to go. My wife, Angie, she went. She enjoyed it, knowing nothing of He-Man at all. She could name me He-Man and Skeletor, and that's about it. But I would like to see it one more time. My dear old dad is who should really see that movie with. I think he would enjoy it because he grew up. Well, he didn't grow up, but he raised me. He reared me. Did he rear me? I don't know what he did, but he was around and collecting this, and he was buying these He-Men, and he knows all their names and knows what they're about. He might have a nostalgic trip seeing that one. So, Dad, we should make a date. Maybe Father's Day. That would be a great one. Father's Day with the Masters of the Universe. Get my dad's full review. Maybe not. But if you want my full talk, review, whatever, check out my podcast this week or right now on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. Deeper dive into that. I go through every single main character and give you my thoughts on that character, as does my wife, Angie. But worth checking out. I think it's worth supporting. Most people are positive about it. Obviously, there's going to be some negative. It sounds like, and I'm not deep into the financials, I just haven't had time to dig into it. And I got other spreadsheets to do. But it'll be interesting to see if it breaks even, if we get a sequel, how that all ends up going. I have to think there'll be a sequel, but we'll see. Time will tell, as they say. But the time is now to talk Masters Universe toys. Mondo 2000X Tila. They teased it here on Friday. I'm sure the pre-order next week. That's a line I want to collect, but you only got so much funds. You only got so much funds to collect these things. We'll see what happens. But Mondo 2000X coming. We also saw this week, very cool, the core line, stealing a lot of hearts out there, young and old. It's the core line. And for a little less than $100, you can get a Castle Grayskull Snake Mountain hybrid. Very cool that they fold together. I think that's a very cool idea that I'm shocked has never been utilized before. I should have thought of it. It could have been $1 million idea. I could be out on the beach in Bermuda doing this video if I would have thought about it. Is that Bermuda beautiful this time of the year, Todd? No? Grand Cayman's where I need to go? Well, maybe I'll add that to the list too. But we did see that one coming. I think a lot of people will be picking this one up. I don't think I will. I want to collect those. You can't collect everything. I want the more adult stuff, I think. I'm here for the adult stuff, of course. But looks good for what it is and for the value it is, and be great for a little kid. If I had a little boy that was like 5, 6 years old, all day long, I'd be buying all this stuff. I'd be getting all of it. There's no doubt about it. 2000X, speaking of them, Cyclone, Sorceress, Trapjaw, Manny Faces, coming very soon. They have not abandoned ship with the 2000X series like they have the Thundercats series. Thundercats, He-Man, all but gone, not talked about, anything like that. It's a wild thing. It's a wild thing, and I'm a little bit surprised by it, but I guess I shouldn't be. I feel like Mattel said something, well, we might pick it up later on down the line, and I could see them wanting to dial that back. Well, they'll wait for that Thundercats movie, maybe. We'll see what happens there, but a lot going on with He-Man. I would say if you're even remotely interested in this kind of stuff, it's at least worth seeing the movie. See it in the theaters, all that kind of stuff. Good friend of the channel, the Hawkins brothers. You guys know I've been wearing my Darkness Love on my sleeve since 2003, Todd McFarlane. 2003! I used to impress all the ladies back in the day in college because I would play, I could believe in a thing called love. I could get that first riff on the guitar. I just, oh, what's this guitar over here? And I'd be, dun, dun, dun. And then they'd all be flocking in. That's the way it goes. You pick up that guitar, you have a little bit of vibe to you, a little riz, as the kids say, and you're off to the races, folks. You're off to the races. But been a huge Darkness fan for a long time. Very cool. Then the Brian May soundtrack. And of course, Rufus, the drummer for the Darkness, is related to, of course, Queen. It's a whole thing. So it fits all together for me. Soundtrack's available right now. I think it's on streaming, all that kind of fun stuff. So kudos to Masters Universe this week. But we're not done with the toy news. We'll get to you, Todd. We'll get to you. Trust me. We always save the best for last. You know what we do every week. Doc Samson coming to Marvel Legends, part of that Hulk line. I'm loving this Hulk line. Reminds me of the Marvel Action Hour, the Incredible Hulk cartoon, and his action figure line back then. Would love to see more Ghost Rider. They've dabbled in a few, but can I get the Skinner? Can I get the Blackout? Can I get some of those Ghost Rider ones in the future as well? But I do love this Doc Samson. I don't think I've had a Doc Samson since I was a kid, so I'm ready for a Doc Samson in the collection. I think that looks pretty good. But talking about big bruisers, Jada Toys, Street Fighter, Zangief, my all-time favorite Street Fighter character, finally getting the Jada Toys treatment. You know I'm picking that one up. Got to have that in the collection as well. But now we're going to talk some heartbreak and disappointment. And I did a very audible, oh man, I did one of those. And it just like popped out of me. Usually, you know, you're reading your email or whatever, and you just think that in your head. And I actually sat that in a room full of people. I said, oh man, so Kyle, what's wrong? You wouldn't understand is what I said. But unfortunately, NECA this week, they did cancel the NECA store exclusive Imperial version of the Universal Monsters 4-pack. I am assuming, we know what happens when you assume, but I think I can assume in this point, Todd McFarlane, that they could not get enough sales to get this to production, which is a travesty for young Kyle, because these were the Universal Monster figures I played with when I was a little kid. I was too young for the Remcos, too young for the Aurora model kits that my dad had, but I had these Imperial ones getting at Toys R Us for a couple of dollars. Played those a lot with my Ghostbusters figures as well. But man, I really wanted the Universal Monster NECA renditions of those. Would have been amazing. I have the Imperial ones over the last year since these were announced. I picked those all up. I was going to display those together, and now it's done. It's over, and NECA said, sorry about this. Sorry, we've had your like $120 for about a year, and we've just been gaining interest on it. But we'll refund that, and we'll give you a 15% off code to our store if you want to use it. That's not enough. I want a 200% code. That's what I want. 200% off, and I want it for everybody for this. For this transaction, Todd McFarlane. That's what I'm asking for, and I want that for everybody. I want everybody to have a 200% off coupon code to NECA. Make it available for like a month and we can all use it. That's what I want, and I'm going to take that to a court of law and see if I can get that through. But very disappointing, and that could be the end of Universal Monsters with NECA. Not sure if there's any more meat on the bone. Not sure if there's anything else coming. Once again, San Diego Comic-Con around the corner. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But man, that was very disappointing. Haven't been that disappointed in action figure news in quite some time. So it is what it is. You take the good, you take the bad, and then you have the facts of life, Todd McFarlane. Exactly right. Exactly right, Todd from the couch. Mondo, we talked about him with He-Man. Well, they're going all in on the gargoyles. Gargoyles turned into a gargoyle. I wonder what happened to that guy, Jeff from Detroit, that was turned into a gargoyle. He wrote into the show one time. But hopefully he's changed back and forth. I don't know what he's up to. But unfortunately for the gargoyles, or fortunately for the gargoyle fans, Mondo picking up the license. I would love to pick these up. I just don't have room for these in my collection. But man, really disappointed we didn't finish off the NECA ones. And the NECA ones, I never got around to unboxing. I think I unboxed one on Kyle Peterson 2.0. I have all the rest of them. Maybe I should just cut bait right now and sell them. I don't know what I should do. But gargoyles, if you're a gargoyle fan, coming over there to Mondo, be on the lookout for those. And now we're finally to Todd McFarlane from the couch. It's time to talk little McFarlane Toys, and not a lot of news from Todd lately, at least that I'm interested in, unfortunately. But Todd coming from the vault with Series 2 from the vault. I told you guys a year plus ago that there would be vault releases, just like every other toy line does when they're on the way out. And we're seeing that from McFarlane. Series 2, some heavy hitters, Comedian Joker, Cyborg Superman, Captain Carrot, one of my all-time favorites, and Nightfall Batman. 4 figures I do not need to pick up. I already have them in my collection. It is what it is. But if you missed out on them before, you get a second lease on life on these. That's not a bad thing. Would really expect maybe 2 more of these Vault series. I think they're going to try to get as much money as they can on the way out. I would do the same thing if I had a business hat. And Todd, we wish you well in your future endeavors. Sounds like Shadowhawk and Savage Dragon could be around the corner very soon. We unboxed Hellboy, Todd, on the channel this week. I got Hellboy Platinum Edition to still unbox. And then tomorrow, Weekly Purchase has got a bunch of new Batman to unbox as well. So we still got some Todd talk left to do, but we've also started to dabble in some Mattel DC unboxings. We unboxed both of those 4 figures from Series 1 this week. So check that out if you missed it. But that's it for Todd and the boys over at McFarlane Toys. And that's it for the toy news. What were you interested in this week? What are you excited for? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. We got even more content for you on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships, and of course, over there. Patreon and YouTube channel memberships, of course, your best way to support the channel. Check out SirPaul64 to follow me over on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. Also, the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available right now with the Masters Universe review. If you head over to Patreon, each and every Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found, with videocast on YouTube. So for another week of the toy news, you know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another weekend.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
I found out a long time ago. You gotta learn to say yes when life says no. See you later!